No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
Mr. Cortez, he's a bright young man. When I first met him, he was kind of timid, but I've grown to learn more about him, the struggles that he's been through, the transformation that he's been through in the last 5 months is incredible. I'm actually really proud of him and what he's gone through and how he's changing through my program.
I joined JROTC by accident. My guidance counselor suggested it. I didn't want to do it at all, but had to do it. I planned on just joining a semester, and I ended up loving the course, the instructors, every one of my friends that I've made here in JROTC, and my whole high school life is just surrounded basically on JROTC.
Cadet Cortez, like I said earlier, he's a lot like some of the students who come in here. He does have a lot of natural leadership ability. I think ROTC gave him an opportunity to use that in a course, in a class with students of his peers. And because of that, he's had a very good rapport with other students, extremely beneficial. It's a great leadership opportunity for him. It's also a great leadership opportunity for people around him to see how he acts, how he takes care of himself and other people. And the leadership that he does, he gets into a common ground with these students and explains how things should be done. They look at him, they don't look at him as he's any different, they just look like he's doing it better. So he's leading by example, which is a perfect example of what we want for students here in ROTC.
Well, before JROTC, I was kind of bad kid, rebellious, didn't listen to my parents. I didn't want to really be in school. Joining to ROTC, the instructors taught me discipline. They taught me how to be a better version of myself. And throughout the years, I did become a better version of myself. Became more respectful towards elders or peers around me. I became more aware of other people's feelings, as well as how to deal with certain emotions of mine and how to lead overall.
And he started to excel, and he started hanging around with the right group of people who helped him excel. And in the end, he took his natural leadership ability, accentuated it, and became a leader inside the Air Force Junior ROTC program.
So I also wanted to join the Marine Corps because my dad is ill and he has many kids, and I know that it will be a struggle for him to pay for all that college tuition for us, and I just wanted to help him out. So I know that the military helps with schooling, and I just know that I want to make him proud. I want to make him proud that he has an excellent son and that I will succeed. So I think that joining the military and being able to succeed throughout not only military but university as well will be very excellent for myself and for my family.
got this. Got to get out of here. She's got a baseball too. Okay, guys, hear that? We're not staying long. Where's Kelly?
What is the order again? It's veteran. Now I'm doing Demetrius. Back. We move this after. You want me to help you? You want me to do it? Okay. I'll move it over.
30 seconds.
Time. What time are you calling?
7. We're hoping earlier. I think it was
7? 7? 5? That's not a lot.
We'll get out of here earlier. Okay,
It's 10 minutes.
Okay. Saying what?
6:40.
Okay. 6:40. Hey, we've been out of here in a half an hour before, believe it or not. Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days where we could get in and out and nobody even knew what was going on.
I got one. Thank you. Good evening.
What? I don't know.
Welcome, everyone. I call to order the school board meeting for October 24th, 2023. This evening, if I could invite Ms. Lemons to the speaker. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce Radon and Serenity, along with their teachers, Mrs. Joseph and Mrs. Smith from our SCPS VPK Early Learning Center, for our Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Welcome.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful way to start our meeting. Appreciate you. Let the record reflect that Board Member Davis, Board Member Garrick, Board Member Pennick, Vice Chair Sanchez, and myself are present, along with Superintendent Beeman, the School Board Attorney Cole Palmer, and Jill, our Board Clerk. Ms. Marimas, do we have acknowledgements? Okay. Katie Murphy from Seminole County Council PTA, thank you and welcome. Glad you're here. Superintendent, do you have any agenda modifications?
Yes, I do. The addendum for a good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item.
Thank you. Board members, the roll call order this evening, Member Davis, Member Garrick, Vice Chair Sanchez, Member Pennick, and then myself. Member Davis, any modifications?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Member Garrick.
No modifications.
Vice Chair Sanchez.
No modifications, thank you.
Member Pennick.
No, ma'am.
And I have none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda outline?
So moved.
Member Garrick and seconded by Member Pennick. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, unanimous. Superintendent, do we have any presentations or recognitions?
Yes, we do. We'll get started with our Veteran of the Month from Lake Mary High School, who will be introduced by Dr. Reynolds. Oh, Becky Smith. There we go.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Sure, of course. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. My name is Becca Southworth. I'm an assistant principal at Lake Mary High School. Go Rams. I am here for a special presentation. It is my absolute privilege and honor tonight to welcome and congratulate our Veteran of the Month, our new employee at Lake Mary High School, Mr. Stephen Grice. Come on up, Stephen. I'm going to go ahead and read what Stephen wrote about his time in the U.S. Military Police Corps. I joined the Army in 1992, stationed at Fort McClellan, Alabama, home of the U.S. Army Military Police Corps. After graduation, I was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia, where I was deployed to Mogadishu, Somalia, with the 1st Platoon, 24th Military Police Company for Operation Restore Hope and Operation Continue Hope, assigned to the 10th Mountain Division. After the deployment, I returned home and did a temporary assignment at Fort Davis, Panama. Upon return, I discharged in late 1994. Upon entering civilian life, I was hired by the Florida Department of Corrections to be a correctional officer. A year and a half later, I transferred to the Orange County Jail, where I worked for nearly 25 years, mostly assigned to the transportation unit. I retired in September 2021. I began working for the Seminole County School Board August 8, 2023, as a safety guard at Lake Mary High School. I enjoy my job and having positive interactions with students as I work with a tremendous team in keeping them safe. Thank you again, Mr. Stephen Grice. We are so honored and so grateful for your service.
Good evening, school board members, superintendent. Hello. My name is April Griffin. I am a proud native Sanfordite, and I graduated from Seminole High School. So it's very much a pleasure to be able to come here tonight and give you and say from the Florida School Boards Association that you have earned the distinction as a certified master board. Yes. Your 20 hours of Master Board training reflects the unwavering dedication and continuous effort of the Seminole County District in ensuring the highest standards of governance, leadership, and excellence in education. This recognition is a testament to your leadership team's collaboration and dedication to the students of Seminole County. The attainment of Master Board status signifies a strong commitment to the principles of effective school board governance, transparency, accountability, and the pursuit of excellence in education. As you continue to foster a culture of continuous improvement, collaboration, and student success, Please know that the Florida School Boards Association and myself are here to serve you. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Coordinating our efforts.
Making this trip.
Congratulations. I'll get a hug. I get hugs.
Great. We loved our Thank you so much. Amazing. We did good.
Sorry. I had to do it. That step stool back here just was tempting. All right, good evening, board members, Superintendent Beeman, and I am here to start. Poor Demetria has lost her voice today, so I am going to introduce our newest assistant principal for Markham Woods Middle School, Allison Brown. Come on up. Mrs. Brown attended Stetson University for both her bachelor's degree in elementary education and master's degree in educational leadership. Prior to proudly serving as an assistant principal, she was an English language arts teacher, instructional coach, and dean of students at Markham Woods Middle School. She also taught intermediate math and science at Altamont Elementary and all subjects at Woodward Elementary. Joining her tonight is her husband, Daniel, and daughter, Ariella. Come on up for a picture, guys. Let's see that baby.
They're bell bottoms. They're little bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms, yeah.
Oh my goodness, those cheeks. Come on right in here. How sweet.
She's so cute. That's what Demetria would say, right? Congratulations. I know, can't rush it. As Demetria would say, she's so cute. All right, so from our high schools, we have our newest assistant principal from Lyman High School, Ms. Courtney Doherty. Ms. Doherty is an 18-year veteran with Seminole County Public Schools with nearly 16 years spent as a classroom teacher. During the course of her career in the classroom, Ms. Doherty taught reading, pre-IB, and AP language and composition, and she was the IB coordinator at Winter Springs High School. Her favorite part of education is when a student has that realization of capability and gains the confidence to begin to learn on their own volition. I feel the same when I see a teacher do the same in her educational career. Ms. Doherty has served as the dean of, served students at 3 different levels in Seminole County, beginning her career at Lake Howell High School, then becoming a bear at Winter Springs High School, where she spent the majority of her career, 14 years, and most recently as a Knoll at Seminole High School. Starting her next chapter as a Greyhound at Lyman High School, Ms. Doherty looks forward to inspiring her team to meet the needs of all students. She's excited to be a Greyhound. Joining here tonight is Joseph Doherty, Alice Doherty, and Joey Doherty. And we are proud to welcome our newest assistant principal, Courtney Doherty.
back here if you want.
Good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Mark Mullins, Assistant Superintendent of Operations. Welcome, Dr. Mullins. Dr. Mullins graduated from Florida State University. I know you Knowles are happy out there. With a bachelor's degree in mathematics education. He served as a high school math teacher for several years while also earning a master's degree from the University of Central Florida in educational leadership. Dr. Mullins later earned a doctorate in educational leadership from UCF and has served in various roles, school-based roles and district-level administrative positions, including Chief Operating Officer with the Brevard County School District. Please welcome Dr. Mullins' wife, Laura Lee. They have been married for 35 years and have 3 children who are all married, and now they have 1 grandson. Although their children could not join us this evening, they are watching online from California, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Dr. and Mrs. Mullins are proud to have children that currently serve in the United States Army or as public school educators. Welcome, Dr. Mullins.
Before we start, I want to thank you for that great start bag. That's so sweet. Class of 2042.
Wait, I'll hold it up so everybody can see.
Good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. Tonight, our VPK team is here to share some information with you about our Great Start program and our VPK program. As you know, voluntary pre-K program was signed into law January 2005 with implementation in August of 2005. As you know also that VPK is optional for children ages 4 to 5 who of course reside in the state of Florida. And so we've got some information we'd like to share with you on our program, enrollment, the updates from the state regarding accountability for VPK students, and some of the program changes implemented by the Department of Early Learning through DOE. So with us tonight is Mr. Brian Emmons, who is the director of our VPK program, and he will introduce his team and they'll share the information with you. Mr. Emmons.
Is this on? We don't have to push a button? Okay, good. Mic check? No. Pull real close. Okay, there we go. Is that good? All right. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Beeman. Thank you for having us this evening and allowing us to share some information about Great Start and VPK. With me, I have Mrs. Danielle Lemons, our VPK coordinator. And next to her, we have Ms. Sharicia Franklin, one of our resource teachers for VPK. And then at the end of the table, we have Mrs. Marvuli, who is another resource teacher that supports our VPK program. So I just want to make sure we got this. Perfect. We're going to start with our Great Start program, which was founded back in 2013 and is a program to support early literacy and provide some education to our parents of infants and toddlers. We have over 240 families that are sharing or participating in lessons focused on early literacy, songs, nursery rhymes, storytelling, and most recently we've started Pop-Up in the Park, which focuses on literacy, but then also engaging our young students or young children in an opportunity to play with other children. And then with that, we have over 2,000 Great Start bags, so the bags that you have up on your podium there are packed by our Project Search students. And in those bags, we have over 2,000 that were delivered to local hospitals. They include resources for parents, a little bib with their graduation year, and some early literacy books that families can read with their newborns. We have multiple partnerships: Action Church, Advent Health, Barnes & Nobles, Oviedo Medical Center. Most recently, we formed a partnership with Seminole Safe House, where Mrs. Wells-Eason, who organizes and implements our program, is actually participating at Storytime tonight. We had to move the date a couple times, and we didn't want to cancel again for our families there. And that's what we have with our Great Start program. We do have some data to share, which was in the PowerPoint. Over 80% of our families that participate with Great Start are willing to share the information or invite families or friends. Over 70% of our participating families in the program actually reside with Seminole County, and the remaining percentage coming from neighboring counties. And you can see the different percentages that participate at our locations at Action Church, or if they participate in a Pop-Up in the Park. And what are our Great Start families saying about our program? They love the opportunity to be exposed to early literacy. They love being able to take those resources home and using them with their children. That's one of the takeaways from the program. They actually leave with some resources to implement early literacy skills at home. And then also just preparing our students for VPK. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Lemons.
Hi, our SCPS VPK facilitators hold a CDA credential or higher in early childhood. Through SCPS, it is required that our facilitators have state training, and it's not just for the curriculum, but it's also for the standards for ages 3 to kindergarten. Our facilitators in our classrooms are supported by Florida early childhood educators who are certified, who have also taught in Seminole County. We provide PD clusters for training. We provide parent-teacher conferences to meet the needs of our students. We sub in classrooms when we're needed. And that is just a few of our hats that we wear. Ms. Marvuli?
So I'm going to talk about the curriculum assessment piece. So we use the state-adopted Frog Street curriculum that uses early brain development research as the cornerstone of instruction. The curriculum provides intentional activities and support in the 5 developmental domains, as well as aligns with the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards. Frog Street supports whole group, small group, and practice center learning experiences. Also infused throughout the curriculum is a social emotional component, as well as STEAM lessons that promote 21st century skills such as problem solving, collaboration, and creativity throughout the use of a coding robot. We use the FAST early literacy assessment data to focus on high quality, intentional, differentiated instruction within our small groups to meet the needs of our students.
In addition to the assessments in our VPK program, new last year was the implementation of the class observation, which is a classroom assessment scoring system. And it is a 2-hour observation of our VPK leads and the assistant in that classroom, which involves a 4 20-minute observation cycles, and then in between those 20-minute session cycles, they have a 10-minute coding where the observer takes notes. And last year, you needed to have at least a 4.0 or higher on a 7-point scale. All of our 47 classrooms scored above the 4.0, so we were able to obtain VPK certificates for this year and to stay open last year. And also, the readiness rate, that 4.0 or higher, will be used as part of the readiness rate for our providers. Previously, the readiness rate was defined as our kindergarten students scoring a 500 on the Flickers assessment in kindergarten. This year, it is still up at the Department of Early Learning, the methodology of how they're going to calculate the score, but it will be involving the 4.0 or higher class observation. It will be student growth from our Progress Monitor 1 to Progress Monitor 3 for our VPK students, and then also a new cut score of 690 or higher as a scale score on the FAST STAR Early Literacy Assessment. Last year we had assessed almost over 750 students at the different PM Progress Monitor points with at least a 96 or higher percentage tested, and then this year with Progress Monitor 1, we have assessed almost 800 students with a 97% tested rate, and then our PM2 and 3 will be happening in the future. Also, what is new this year for VPK with the addition of the class and the Progress Monitor STAR assessment is the opportunity for our students to be eligible for the New Worlds Reading Program. So if our VPK students do not meet the cut score, they are eligible for the New Worlds Reading Program where they receive books from the University of Florida Lastinger Institute. And we appreciate you allowing us to share some information on our Great Start and VPK program with you. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Board members, do you have questions? Member Davis.
Thank you for all that information. I wanted to find out, I don't know who can answer that. If you say that you see a child who you believe needs speech therapy, can they start at VPK getting special services?
Yes, ma'am. We typically will have them screened through our ESE pre-K clinic to determine eligibility if they require an IEP for those services or not. But they can still participate with VPK and receive speech services from the school.
Thank you.
Member Garrick, any questions?
Well, as many of you know, this is near and dear to my heart, our littlest learners, and making sure that they have the foundation that they need to be successful in their K through 12 journey has always been important to me. I was excited to hear about the pop-up in the park. I did have a question about the assessments now. We all know that our littlest ones especially learn through play. So how long are those assessments and how are they guided through?
That's a great question. Ms. Marvuli, do you want to share a little bit about the STAR assessment? It's not through play, I can share that, but it is on a tablet device where
they're playing on
It's
iPad.
on a tablet, it's a touch screen. They think they're
A tablet.
playing, you know. So yes, so it doesn't take very long. It's on a tablet, a touch screen, and it's just interactive, and they just go through the questions.
About like 15
it
to 20
takes about
minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
And do they go through with the assistant?
It's typically a small group, 1 or 2 students at the table, but there's an auditory version, so the directions are read to them so they can hear, but it is not like a guided, it's what they are able to answer and perform on their own.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I just want to say thank you for giving me a quick tour this summer of the ELC facility. It is beautiful. What is I know that you weren't at full capacity when we last spoke. Where are you with numbers now for VPK?
We are enrollment at 800 currently today. We are working with a couple families to fill up some of we have about 60 seats that are left. We've had several families that are now either withdrawing, going to different program, and so our team is working to fill those seats. At the ELC, all 5 classrooms, Early Learning Center, all 5 classrooms have 15 students with the exception of one having 13. Okay. So and we cap that at 15 just to keep a smaller class size.
And though it's not required, I know it's encouraged that the students come throughout for the duration of the program, but you do take students throughout the year if you've got room?
Yes, ma'am, as long as they're able to meet the 70%, so the state requires 70% attendance of those 540 hours. So if we're able to meet that, then we can take them any time through the year. Because sometimes they may transfer from a private provider to us where they have used some of their hours on the certificate in the private sector, and for whatever reason they're coming to join us, then we can use those remaining hours for, Seminole County VPK.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you all for the hard work that you do.
Great questions. Thank you. We appreciate
Vice Chair
your time.
Sanchez, any questions?
First of all, thank you so much. Big advocate of the Great Start program and the VPK as almost 35 years in education for me. I know how important it is to get our children early, and we have kept Great Start. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not every county is blessed. There are a lot of school districts that do not have Great Start. So I want to make sure everybody realizes, I have chills just thinking about it, because we have looked over it numerous times in the past 8 years, and it had been close to getting pulled off, and we have been so blessed to be able to keep it. And thank you from the bottom of my heart and from everybody, because it really does help. And then the interactive tools that we use with the VPK students, having opportunity to work with those students, they love it. They it's their age times 2 is the maximum time a child can sit still on one given task, but that interactive tool really does help them. And I know you're looking and seeing developmentally if they're ready or not, and every child develops differently. So I appreciate everything. I do have one question about the Great Start info that you gave us, and thank you so much, and I know our wonderful students put it together. At one point, we were having them delivered to the pediatricians' offices because the hospitals were not distributing them out in a timely manner, or it was just overwhelming for the mom or the families to bring everything home. Are we getting good response back from the hospitals passing them out?
Yes, we did a meeting with the hospitals 2 years ago, and so I think more of the problem was they don't always work on the weekend. The person that they designate at the hospital isn't sometimes there on the weekend, and so those nurses working on the weekend are so busy, they don't always give those bags out. So we've had conversation, and they've tried to designate someone on the weekends when our regular contact isn't there. But they've been doing a really good job giving the bags out this year, so I think we're doing
awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
No questions, just a big thank you. I love hearing the outcomes of our students that go through this program. They come in as high achievers from the beginning, and I just appreciate all of the love and attention that you give to these little ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I echo all those sentiments. Thank you very much for all you do every day. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes.
Started VPK at the age of 3 because he was special needs. Do you still do that?
Yes,
anymore?
we do. We do have pre-K ESE, and so those services are still available for those students who qualify. And again, they go through our VPK ESE clinic for services.
At 3? Does that start at 3?
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell me how many hours a day they do in the summer? Is that just 4 days a week or 5?
300 hours in the summer.
Well, I mean, how many hours a day is it? I know that it's 3.
For us, it is really a 10-hour day because we're doing 4 days a week at 10 hours a day. Yes.
Okay, and the students, how long are they there?
They're doing 10 hours a day because
10
they have to
hours?
do the 300. Yes.
Wow.
Unless a parent chooses to pick them up early, which they have to take the FAST test in the summer. That's also part of the new state requirement. So for us, we want them to be there to get the full instructional time that they deserve.
That's great.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here.
Thank you, Board, for supporting the program.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, it's now time for board comments, non-committee updates or information you'd like to share. Member Davis?
I don't have any comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Garrick?
I just wanted to share that I was particularly excited to see a couple of the field trips that are on tonight's agenda. I appreciated the opportunities that we've got some students that are going to Princeton to compete from Seminole High School, and then next summer we've got some kids on their way to Rome, and that's the second trip that I've heard about SCPS students on their way to Rome within the next 6-8 months. So good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sanchez.
So for non-committee, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming along with the tour for the Holocaust Center, and our secretary, clerk, Jill Moramus, for working diligently to get that date for us. I really appreciate it. The Holocaust Center is at the J. Right now, they're actually getting ready to build a new center. It's something that I've had on my agenda that I wanted everybody to get a chance to see. And they're building a new one for 40,000 square feet that starts next year, and it will be off of Ivanhoe. Also wanted to mention that we do, on top of the Ottoman, Member Garrick and I were along with the superintendent, over at the Regional Florida Civics Debate Initiative tournament this past weekend. And we had quite a few of our students. We don't have a large debate speech group of students that competed, but all the ones that did compete actually placed, and some of them are heading to University of Florida this weekend. Some are heading to Washington next week. So they're traveling everywhere. One of our students won first place, who just recently moved here, 2 years ago from Venezuela, and won first place in the oratory contest. Unbelievable of what these students were doing, and how their soft speech skills are amazing. And I just want to do a big shout out for all those that are doing the soft skills and teaching our children how to communicate and speak rather than looking at their cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
I have no comments.
Okay, well, I just have a couple of things. Special thank you to Dr. Lindsay Williams. A couple of events he organized with the help of the foundation, the Young People's Concert, and 5,000 of our students were able to go to Dr. Phillips, where they were exposed to not only music and theater, but also opera and ballet. And for some of these students, they may not have ever had that opportunity. So special thanks to both Dr. Williams and the foundation. We had the Lawton Elementary School groundbreaking, which was quite exciting. We're excited about that project and to get it moving forward. We also all attended the D.D. Schaffner Marching Band concert over the weekend, and there's something about that, especially the national anthem, when all of the 8 bands are on the field playing together. It's quite an ordeal, and it was really good. Non-committee, I serve on the Orlando Science Center board, and we had our retreat this weekend. Got a sneak peek of the new exhibit coming. It's called Life, and I'm really excited about that. I've asked Jill to look for a date in January that maybe the whole board and superintendent, any science people that would like to attend. So we're looking for a date for all of us to go. And that's all that I have. It's now time for public comments, agenda items. Vice Chair, would you read the
Policy 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. The purpose of public participation segments at the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segments of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or to the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comments segments durations are as follows. Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition. Maximum of 6 minutes. Speaker must remain on topic for agenda items. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I have 2 agenda item speakers, Robin Dellinger, and then on deck, Nina Sandberg. Good evening and welcome.
I might need another voice. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Beeman. My name is Robin Dellinger, and I live in Longwood. Please excuse my voice. I'm speaking to you regarding agenda item 6P. I'd like to commend the school board for the plans to approve Milwee, Sanford, Millennium, and South Seminole Academy to become accredited International Baccalaureate Middle Years Program schools. When I heard about the plan, I was thrilled to see this dream come to fruition. Some of you may know I was the principal at South Seminole when the magnet program was implemented. Dr. Griffin, who was then the principal at Seminole High School, came to speak to our faculty and staff to share the vision of an IB pipeline all the way from elementary through high school. If I remember correctly, I think it was 2005. For several reasons, as outlined in the agenda item, the district was not able to implement it at the time fully. I never stopped hoping that one day the vision would come to fruition. Fast forward a few years, and I happened to be the assistant superintendent supervising Idlewild and Wicklow Elementary when the Magnet Schools of America grant was awarded, providing funding to support the schools to become authorized IB primary years program schools. The principals, the teachers, the district staff worked incredibly hard to support these schools as they engaged in that rigorous authorization process, and they achieved authorization, I think it was during the pandemic, if I'm remembering correctly. It was amazing to support these schools as they developed their programs, still hoping that one day it would be MYP. Thank you to all who pursued this vision to now include the middle years program at the 4 middle school magnet schools. Students in SCPS and even students from other districts through controlled open enrollment will be able to participate in the IB program from kindergarten through the 12th grade. The IB programs at Seminole High School and Winter Springs High School are already incredibly successful, and undoubtedly their success will be impacted by adding the middle years program. It'll take a lot of work, but there is no question that they will be successful. They are. Board members and Superintendent Beeman, congratulations on providing and continuing to support innovative and creative opportunities for our students in an environment when parents can choose to enroll their children in any private school, homeschool, or elsewhere using public dollars. Seminole County Public Schools exemplifies the commitment to provide stellar opportunities for all students. I'm frequently asked by people I meet, where's the best school in which to enroll their students? Regardless of the grade level of the student, 100% of the time, my answer is any public school in Seminole County. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Nina Sandberg. Good evening.
I'm Nina Sandberg. I recently gave speeches to ask the school board and superintendent to bring back regular annual field trips for all students in all grades at all schools following the pandemic. The pandemic has been over for a long time, and it was way past time to get back to normal. I was pretty shocked when I encountered outright hostility at these meetings just for asking for something that the kids are supposed to be getting anyway. The hostility came from SCPS political operatives who come to these meetings to make negative public comments in direct retaliation to the comments that the citizens made at previous meetings. This is a form of retaliation. SCPS has a long, ugly retaliation history against parents, children, and employees. This retaliation culture is so prevalent that select SCPS political operatives felt that the way to deal with my request for field trips to be resumed was verbal retaliation during public comment to make me look bad. They made negative comments about my request for field trips to be resumed in order to try to demonize me for asking for them. This is a perfect example of the negative culture that has existed inside of SCPS for years. There's no reason to pick on a parent who tells you that it's time to bring back field trips for all the students after the pandemic. I only stated the obvious. My daughter has been offered a field trip that cost $1,000. I don't have $1,000, so she will not be going. I was talking about day trips that cost $80 or less to places like the Science Center, the Zoo, Kennedy Space Center, SeaWorld, etc. I wasn't talking about field trips that cost $1,000. I don't have any problems with the people going on the field trips that cost $1,000, but we do need to have regular day field trips to someplace exciting, so, like the zoo or something, that cost amount that the parents can actually afford. So affordability is a factor with regards to the field trips. Anyway, the negative retaliation culture really needs to stop, and I hope very much that the juniors at all schools this year will get prom. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the public comments agenda items. We're up to the consent agenda. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
So moved.
Moved Vice Chair, seconded by Member Panic. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation regarding student disciplinary recommendations?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from October 2, 2023.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Member Panic, a second?
Second.
Member Davis, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Under new business, Captain Fortenberry, could I ask you to come up?
Good
Do you
evening.
have a report? Thank you.
Good evening, Board,
Good
Chair,
evening.
Superintendent. The recommendations are based on the evaluation of each campus and reviewed by the Department of School Safety and Security in order to provide the best opportunity to secure our school campuses. Based on these assessments of the FSTAT of 2022-2023 school year, we recommend the continuation of Seminole County Public School Physical Security Enhancement Plan that includes strategic, internal, external fencing, access control, advanced school safety technology, the IP camera overhaul, applicable structural changes to support a single secured entryway. Additional recommendations include evaluating and upgrading the school radio systems and infrastructure and migration to a new behavior threat assessment software.
Thank you. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County accepts the recommendation of the school safety specialist and authorizes the required submission of the information required by Florida Statute 1006.07, subsection 6, to the Office of Safe Schools.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Member Garrick, is there a second? Member Davis, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up. Superintendent, do you have a report?
My report, board members, mostly in the book and read only, but I did want to just say congratulations and thank you to Julie Sioka and the SAPA team for a wonderful middle school and high school choice expo on October 12th. I was out of town and I was getting the emails and getting the text messages about the great, first of all, just number of schools and the parents and the students, and so congratulations and thank you, Ms. Sioka. Also wanted to say thank you to Minnie Cardona and her team. This, I guess, was it last Saturday or the Saturday before? Okay. The Hispanic Month celebration in the park, another huge success, each year bigger and better, and danced a little bit, ate a lot, and it was just another great celebration. So thank you, Ms. Cardona. Also wanted to say congratulations to Dr. Mulholland at Goldsboro Elementary. November 15th, I think we will be celebrating that the entire school is named the 2023 National Aerospace School of the Year. So congratulations to Goldsboro Elementary.
Bravo.
So that is my report.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. It's now time for board committee updates. I'll start with Member Davis.
I have nothing at this time. I had an emergency, so I could go to the last meeting, but I will update you on everything next time.
Okay, thank you very much. Member Garrick.
My committee is the Business Advisory Board, which didn't have an opportunity to meet, but the purpose is to extend an invitation to and build partnerships with our businesses throughout the community. So I wanted to discuss a few quick opportunities for folks. I'm so glad to see so many here this evening passionate about education. We had a report today that included the statistic that last year we had 500,000 volunteer hours. So we are hoping to surpass that this year. And coming up, November 14th is an opportunity for Teach In. And it is open at all of our schools, and you can go online and register to volunteer, so share a special talent with anywhere from maybe even pre-K, but definitely K through 12. So I would invite you all to please get involved with the schools in whatever way possible. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Sanford Porch Fest, who were one of the sponsors of the Orlando Philharmonic performance that we got to see at Dr. Phillips. Another way that local community people are having a direct impact on our school and on the arts. Big weekend for arts. We had plays as well as Frooms and Haggerty and perhaps some others, as well as, of course, the music festival. And then one final opportunity this weekend, which is a great community event to support our schools of the arts, Midway and Millennium, is the Air Show Park and Watch event. So please, there's information on social media. You can reach out to me as well if you would like. But it's a family fun event, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, in the parking lot of Millennium Middle School. There's a single charge for families to come on in and to spend as little or as much time as you want watching the air show, which takes place at Sanford Airport, and all proceeds stay within the Midway community to benefit schools and extra opportunities for citizens there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Sanchez.
Wanted just to also think about the middle school and high school Choice Expo. Chair House and I went, and it was packed.
There was
We
no
couldn't even-
parking.
There was no parking, and we got there early. We thought we got there early. And it was exciting to see so many people there. My updates on the zoo, don't forget the Zoo Bash is still taking place and is filling up. We had an event this past weekend to raise some extra funds at Wekiva Island to help with our animals. I think a lot of people don't realize that when the cost of food and rehab for these animals that have been taken in, that we have at the zoo, that the cost of the meat or whatever they eat is expensive. So we had another event this weekend to raise funding for it. Especially at the beginning of the school year, our numbers drop a little bit, and that's just because it's hot outside and we don't see as many people there. But with the Asian Lantern Festival coming around the corner and the Zoo Bash, there's a lot of great opportunities and a lot of educational opportunities there as well. Don't forget to get your Asian Lantern tickets soon. They are selling out, and they sell out fast. So go to the centralfloridazoo.org site to get information on that. We had a coalition meeting last week with all of our Central Florida School Board Coalition, and that went well. We had our update from our legislative advocate from FSBA, and right now they should be working on committees, educational committees, and so on and so forth. Like I said last time, meetings are going to be starting earlier, so we'll be heading up to Tallahassee earlier and trying to voice our concerns on many different issues. I also wanted to share that the mayor's update was yesterday, so all the mayors in Seminole County were at that from our chamber event, held that, and it was nice to get the update from them, but it's always fun to watch them interact with each other. I know Member Pennick and I were there, and you know how they love to joke around with each other. It is really cute to see how they really get along well. Also wanted to share about the Community Ambassador Program that Member Garrick and I had an opportunity to go to the second one last week with our new ambassador group. And it's going extremely well, learning all about the ins and outs about our buses, the cost of running our buses, just the equipment alone, and then getting to see our students perform and getting a tour of Midway as well as Millennium and different programs like that. And also, if you are interested in helping out with mental health, we are having Glassful of Hope, Alley's Hope this coming up November 9th. It's at Crane's Roost, and the money is to help our children with mental wellness and support for them. And it will be it's from 5:30 until 8:30 at Crane's Roost, and it's the tickets are on sale. You can go on alleyshope.org site, or if you find it online, you can purchase your tickets whichever way, or you can even buy the tickets at the door if you want, but please do that. Also had an opportunity to do Teacher of the Year luncheon last week, and we had some great conversations with our teachers. I just wanted to say something that was concerning as being a teacher for, 26 years and being in education for 34, almost 35. One thing that has been brought to my attention by a lot of teachers and employees is, and it's not the people in here, not probably the people listening, parents, please help us. Help your children be respectful to their teachers, their administrators. Our teachers want to teach, and if our teachers can't teach, then they're frustrated, and then they want to get out of the field. And this is happening not just here, it's everywhere. But we need everybody to help and have family time. Talk to your children about respect. Talk to them about being good listeners and respectful to their elders and to their peers, and do their best they can to help the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member Pennick.
I had my FSBA advocacy meeting on Friday and forwarded you the minutes. If you have input that you would like me to take back to our next committee meeting, just give that to me by Thursday morning. And I just want to say congratulations to all the bowling teams that are advancing to state, and good luck to all the swim teams who are going out to districts this weekend. That's it.
Excellent. I attended the Community Alliance meeting at the Sheriff's Office, and I brought along Jillian from our Families in Need. There is a drastic need for beds and fostering. Every agency is looking, the number one goal is to keep children within their families. That doesn't always work. It's not always possible. But we're seeing numbers of homeless and unaccompanied youth like we've never seen before, and it's through the whole county. So as soon as I get minutes from that, I don't have them, but I will forward them to all of you. And I have the foundation board meeting tomorrow. Please don't forget, November 4th is a night of impact, and I look forward to seeing you all dressed up and having a great evening at Night of Impact. Okay, with that, it is now time for public comments, non-agenda items. And I'll call the first three speakers, and you can meet up here. Miss Carol Hinshaw, followed by Robin Dellinger, followed by Fiona Shannon. You can use this stool if you want. Good evening and welcome.
Okay. I'm Carol Hinshaw. I'm a retired librarian from the University of Central Florida, and my interest is reading. I believe in the freedom to read because knowledge is power. The beginning of the school year, my 15-year-old granddaughter says, "Nana, why are people telling me what I can or cannot read?" I says, "What do you think?" She says, "Fear." They're afraid of what students will read, but they are smart enough to know when they're not going to read something they don't like. 15-year-olds are smarter than 80-year-olds. I am so impressed with what this school board and this county does for education. I've lived in Seminole County since 1976. My two sons went to school here and then went on to Florida State. Who mentioned Florida State? And are very successful. The people who come in and want to tell us all what we should or should not read, first of all, they need to read those books, because I believe that almost none of these Moms Against Liberty have read these books. Whenever they burn books, they will wind up burning people, too. All history must be taught, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We dare not partially educate our students. So, to school board members, stay strong, never waver, never give up. Remember, knowledge is power.
Thank you so much.
Order, please.
Robin Dellinger, followed by Fiona Shannon, followed by Ray McClory. Good evening again.
Good evening again, board members and Superintendent Beeman. My name's Robin Dellinger, and I live in Longwood. Earlier today, just up until a few minutes ago, I attended the boys' district bowling tournament. My grandson is a senior on the Lyman team, and I'm very happy to report that Lyman and Haggerty are going on to the state tournament. Just had an update. I'm partial to the Greyhounds, of course. I thought I would take the opportunity to thank the school board for providing sports opportunities for students from elementary through high school. In the case of my grandson, bowling has been a critical part of his high school experience, especially since his 8th grade year was impacted by the pandemic, and he attended his freshman year at Lyman High School with only about half the number of students. He is one of those children whose school experience was greatly affected by the pandemic in the succeeding years. Bowling has provided very positive experiences, and he has grown and matured in many ways because of the opportunity to be part of something at his school. His coach, Jack Bloomingdale, and his assistant, Dana, supported him even when it wasn't easy to support him. This year he's a starter, so obviously they did good work. His parents and I are thankful he had this wonderful opportunity. I'd like to commend all the coaches, their principals and assistant principals, the athletic directors, the school assistant superintendents, and the many volunteers and parents who are making sure that students have opportunities to have positive, impactful experiences outside of the classroom. Without all of these people that give countless hours beyond the school day, these opportunities would be limited. As a former cheerleading coach at the high school level, I can vouch for the many hours that sponsors and coaches give to their players and teams. Seminole County students are very successful due to the dedication of their parents and the incredible support provided by the schools to ensure their students' success. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Fiona Shannon, followed by Ray McClory, followed by Katie Murphy. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. I would give a shout out to Jack Bloomingdale and Lyman High School too, because he was the tennis coach at Lyman, and my son did very well through tennis. Anyway, good evening, Superintendent Beeman and School Board. I continue to find myself standing up here to speak, not because I love public speaking, but because I find it necessary to correct misinformation being spread by Moms for Liberty. Once again, at the last meeting, they brought up the Guardian Plan. For some reason, they are intent on pushing for this program, one that we know is far inferior to the one we have currently in Seminole County schools. I would hope that every parent, teacher, and administrator wants what's best to keep our children safe. We know that Seminole County Public Schools' partnership with our Sheriff's Department provides the best methods to do this. We have trained SROs in every public school in our county. Those SROs have one duty, and that is the safety of our children and school staff. And no, the Guardian Plan does not require the same training for armed school staff that law enforcement undergo on a continuing basis. I am thankful that our board and our sheriff care enough to do what's best for our kids. I am reminded every time Moms for Liberty brings this up of my daughter's Teach for America training. One of the first things they learned was that schools should not resemble prisons. I'm going to repeat that. Schools should not resemble prisons. The thought of armed school staff definitely is in opposition to this. For some children, school is the one place they can feel safe. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep guns out of our schools, except for untrained law enforcement. Our children deserve the best, not the cheapest. Once again, I thank you for the work you do to keep Seminole County schools safe for our children to learn and to thrive.
Thank you very much. Ray McClory, followed by Katie Murphy, followed by Rachel Knowles. Good evening.
Board members, Superintendent Beeman, I'm Ray McClory, 24-year resident of Seminole County, and it is extremely important that all history be taught accurately and correctly. The thought that it be taught that slavery benefited those who were enslaved is absolutely absurd and crazy, and will be harmful to many, The board needs to send a letter to the State Board of Education telling them that this policy is absurd and wrong and needs to be ended. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Murphy, followed by Rachel Knowles, followed by Salvador Vieira. Hi, good evening, Katie.
Hello. Thank you, Superintendent, and all the school board. I appreciate all that you guys do. I know it can't be easy these days with everything that's going on, with the way that the rules keep changing and everything's changing around, but thank you for staying strong and for doing the things that are supporting our schools. As we're into October, we've had Hispanic Heritage Month, which you've all spoken to, and I appreciate that. The Foster Care Voice Month, Youth Voice Month is also, and you spoke to that, and we desperately need help, but I know that we're doing a wonderful job with the school system on that. It's also LGBTQ History Month, and along with all of those, we have the important task of making sure that the history and experience of all of our students, including but not limited to African American, Latino, Native American, Asian, LGBTQ, and historically targeted and marginalized group, are accurately represented and taught as they go through their schools. The other thing I noticed today was that today is the 100-year anniversary of the Jungle Gym, which originally was patented, and the original one is still in Winnetka, Illinois. It was a bamboo one, but it was developed by and patented by someone who wanted kids to understand what 3D was about. So STEM education goes way, way back, and but as we go into the legislative session, I'm asking you to keep your eyes and ears open. Let's be speaking out and really pushing hard to make sure that our kids are protected, that our kids' rights are protected, and that they have a chance to see themselves in the school. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Katie. Rachel Knowles, followed by Salvador Vieira, followed by Nina Sandberg. Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Good to see you guys.
I've lived in Seminole County since I was 2, brief stint in Orange County for a couple years, but I'm back in Seminole County, so I've lived here for most of my life. Just wanted to thank you all for being here, for showing up, for advocating for the schools. I thought of becoming a teacher, waffling between becoming a teacher and becoming a nurse, and I decided to be a nurse because being a teacher would be too hard and I would require a lot of patience. So I definitely admire those who work in education. Just a few things that I just wanted to address today. Starting out with a thank you. I understand that that Seminole County school board, decided not to eliminate AP Psychology from the course work that's offered in the high schools. I just wanted to thank you all for that. I think it's really important not to set our students behind. It's going to be a key course going into college, and most degrees are going to need it, including those going into public servant careers such as education, nursing, and those other careers that really benefit the community. On that note, I just wanted to really encourage as well, not eliminating history, as one of the other speakers had said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, certain things are developmentally appropriate. You don't want to unnecessarily traumatize kids with certain facts of life, but as things are developmentally appropriate, not allowing different vendors to have access to Seminole County or approved curriculum sources. So for example, I think PragerU was kind of turned down as being an option, and that kind of goes back to what one of the other speakers was saying about, are we sharing true information that makes people actually feel like they're valued in this world instead of making them feel like they are disappearing, or that their reality or their ancestors' reality was not true and didn't happen, such as with Black history, Native American history, and the like. And just another couple things about just wanting to really make sure, oh, never mind, sorry, I thought I still had a minute. Thank you, appreciate it.
Salvador Vieira, followed by Nina Sandberg, followed by Jessica Tillman.
Good evening, Board Chair Kraus,
Evening.
board members, and Superintendent Beeman. I want to start by thanking you for continuing to stand up in support of LGBTQ+ youth as well as other marginalized youth. This year, the Florida legislature passed the anti-trans bathroom bill, which makes it illegal for trans Floridians to use public restrooms of the gender that they identify with. This has caused a huge obstacle for our trans youth in public schools. It's critical that Seminole County Public Schools works to find a solution to implement gender-neutral bathrooms throughout all Seminole schools so that our trans and non-binary youth can go to the bathroom and feel comfortable. I also want to urge the board to write a letter to the Board of Education and urge them to rescind their remarks and guidance of African American history, which says that slaves benefited from slavery. The time of the enslavement of African Americans in our history is an incredibly dark time, and that history deserves to be taught truthfully and not watered down to make some feel comfortable. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Nina Sandberg, followed by Jessica Tillman. Good evening, Nina.
I'm Nina Sandberg. Some of you are desperate to try to force woke ideologies down my children's throats on the behalf of the left wing of the Democrat Party, and I am desperate to stop you. I want you to notice how woke college professors have brainwashed the nation's college students to embrace a culture of hate, which is every bit as bad as the Hitler Youth. For the past couple of weeks, college students all over the nation have exhibited a vitriolic, anti-Semitic hatred of Jewish people and of Israel that is terrifying. Anti-Semitism is rampant on American college campuses and is being pushed by the fake woke, radical extremist, leftist Marxists. I keep trying to explain to you that woke is new forms of racism, bigotry, prejudice, sexism, anti-Semitism, discrimination, exclusion, segregation, and hate. Woke is hate, and woke is pure evil. It is way past time for all of you to reject woke and go back to civil rights, equal opportunities, constitutional rights, and judging people by the content of their character and not by their immutable characteristics. You need to reject critical race theory. Critical race theory got 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis. You need to reject equity, diversity, and inclusion, as it has nothing whatsoever to do with civil rights, equal opportunities, and treating all citizens fairly and equally. EDI also is new forms of racism, bigotry, prejudice, sexism, anti-Semitism, discrimination, segregation, exclusion, and hate. Reject woke. You also need to teach the Diary of Anne Frank again. It needs to be taught in middle school in 8th grade. You're supposed to teach my daughter the Diary of Anne Frank this year. Bring back the Diary of Anne Frank. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Tillman. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Tillman, and I wanted to discuss the public records request process for the district. I do public records requests all over the place, federal, I do state level. I've done many, many different types of public records requests, and I have to say by far the district's is the hardest process to get through. On September 12th, I submitted my first public records request. On the 29th, I got a response that they were combining my public records requests instead of separating them individually. On October 11th, I sent in a second public records request. On October 12th, I got a notice that I would be receiving my paid-for public records request by October 16th. On the 16th, I was told that they needed more time. On the 17th, I had to request that they actually acknowledge my request from the 11th. And then I finally received my first public records request on October 20th. I then requested to find out how long it actually took to pull one email thread, and I was told by the district that it took them 5 hours to pull one email thread, and I find that very hard to believe, and I absolutely do not believe that it took more than 5 minutes. And through the process, I always have to go back. I submit a request, they acknowledge my request, I have to go back and request an update on my request. Then when I get my quote, I have to go back and ask when I'm going to receive my public records request. It's just a very drawn out, very long process, and I still have yet to get a quote for the request that I sent in on October 11th. So I'd really like the district to maybe look into this, because this is by far the hardest process to go through in regards to public records requests. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that concludes our non-agenda public comments. Board members, any closing comments? Member Davis? No? Member Garrick?
I just wanted to say, when we talked about the legislative session and folks talking about knowing what's going on with Tallahassee, that we registered 214 students to vote at Lake Howell High School. So thank you, Principal Howard and Supervisor of Elections. And for those folks who are interested in supporting reading in our school, we do have opportunities through the RAP program and Nanas, Papas, and Friends.
Thank you much. Vice Chair Sanchez, any closing remarks?
I just wanted to say that on last Monday, the teacher work day, that the leadership students at Lake Brantley all worked together collaboratively, working on their mission, objective statements, and I spoke to them about leadership qualities, and they just blew me out of the water. They were just amazing. So I just wanted to share that. Also, I had a quick question. I know that teaching is coming up. My question is, do they have to be a registered dividend first? I couldn't remember. We haven't done, yes, they do. So please make sure that, because that does take some time, make sure that you go online and register as a dividend for the teaching if you are going to go to any of the schools to talk about your career or your work line or whatever you do. So that is online at our SCPS site. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
No additional comments.
And I have none. Superintendent?
None. Thank
Okay.
you.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.